Snapped podcast is Tyler Kluver, and I'm a former Division I athlete turned entrepreneur. I run my own fitness and nutrition coaching business, as well as a sports media brand that produces podcasts, sells merchandise, and creates exclusive paid content. The fun part is I don't really know what I'm doing as a business owner. I'm just figuring it out day by day. This show, Snapped, acts as an audio journal for my thoughts and ideas on fitness, health, business, mindset, and whatever else I find important on the pursuit to personal happiness and a balanced life. I hope you can take something from the show that makes your life a little bit better. And regardless, I'm just happy you're here. Let's have a day. Let's go. We're here. Welcome in. What is this world? I open up my phone as the intro's playing, and I get a freaking notification that a local mailman was charged with sexual assault for lifting some chick's dress. What the fuck is going on? Great intro into today's podcast. Welcome in. Here we are. Nothing special about today. Just another update, another audio journal of mine. Several fitness things related to today. I do think there's some good stuff to be had from this. Hopefully I can put forth the information in a way that is usable and digestible. I'd like to keep this podcast to around 10 minutes like I did last week. I have a feeling that since I actually have a topic, it'll go closer to 15. That's okay. Update. The next DEXA scan has been scheduled. It is currently Wednesday the 4th. On Monday the 9th at like 10 o'clock in the morning, next Monday, I will be doing my second of a 3-series DEXA scan to test body fat, lean mass, bone mass, all the things. So we'll have an update on that next week. Next week's episode will probably be on basically the last 3 months, a culmination of the last 3 months, what I've done diet-wise, what I've done. Training will be involved in that. I've just been training. The back has been gradually getting better and better and better and better. And so the training has been able to ramp up, and I've been able to do more lifting, all that. How those things tie together. And then the results, body fat wise, of what that looks like. Not just body fat, but body weight. So that will be next week's episode. That'll be jam-packed, and that'll be more data-driven and probably interesting. And I'd like to try, and it'll be the first time I've done it, I'd like to try and get across sort of the simple way and how I personally go about adding on weight or taking off weight. I really do think that, obviously, for people who know what they're doing, like me, it's easy. But the problem is how do we get people to understand the way to do it? And of course, it's not always that easy, because not everybody is in a spot where their health hasn't gotten a little bit away from them, and they don't have ultimate control over their their disciplines, but two, they don't their metabolism isn't in a great spot. They don't have a ton of muscle mass. For a guy like me, it's very easy to put on weight. I'm about as close to eliminating all of the external factors and just focusing on the thermodynamics of gaining or losing weight that you could be. A lot of people are not at that spot. So I want to kind of go over how I do it. And we'll, as always, give some more tips and tricks on how to get closer to being in a spot where you can easily manipulate your weight over the course of 2, 4, 6, 8 weeks. And then do it in a way that's muscle mass driven, all the things. So DEXA scan is scheduled. We'll get those results. I'm interested to see. I was 196 pounds. Big yawn. This morning, been hovering more so around like 197, which I believe would be up around like 2 pounds from the last 3-week weigh-in that I did, like kind of official calorie difference that I started change with the diet. So um, we'll go over all that next week, and I think it'll be a good data. Uh, Short story of the day, and this is like maybe your lesson of the day. Be nice to people, right? It's probably something that I have a harder time doing, and it's not the fact that I'm the opposite. It's not like I'm mean or I'm disrespectful or rude. I'm very uh cordial with the public. It sounds so stupid to say it that way, but I work from home and I hardly ever see people ever. If I go out into the world, it's to like run an errand, be at the grocery store once a week, or it's like in an Iowa football game. I'm not interacting with a lot of people on a daily basis. So I don't have, I guess, an interaction like I'm about to talk about just doesn't happen very often, and it seemed novel to me, and I don't know why. Uh, the other night, I was pulling out of the garage, knocked the sensor off the garage door because there's shit piled up on the side of the garage, and it hit yada yada whatever. Sensor falls off. I can't get it back on the right way. XYZ. It doesn't work right now. The button won't work. The garage won't open or shut. So we call a guy, and he comes out. He happens to show up. He says, "I'm going to be there between 8 and 9 tomorrow morning." This was on Monday. So then yesterday, Tuesday, he shows up at 7:57, and I had been on a walk around the block. I was getting my morning steps in. I don't have a shirt on. He calls me. He's like, "Hey, Tyler, I'm out back." I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm around the corner. I'll be right there." So like 2 3 minutes, I come around the corner, shirt off, and it's like probably not the way that this guy greets people normally. And so I got this. I think that's what kind of sparked my decision to say, "Oh, I need to be overly friendly here and kind of like um, appeasing." Uh, to make this guy feel welcomed and like he's not wasting his time, yada yada. So I shake his hand, I look him in the eye, um, I introduce myself and I tell him the problem. He quickly fixes the problem, like I'm talking within 90 seconds. Made me feel like an absolute asshole. But he was so overly friendly because of the way, and I could tell it was because of the way that I greeted him and the way that I sort of accepted him onto, the property and like into the garage. And I was being friendly. I was making conversation. Um, this is the kind of guy who's in a position where he doesn't really have to talk to you, right? It's 8 o'clock on a Tuesday morning, and you could tell it maybe he was that kind of person. But he's like, dude, I'm, no charge. I came here for 2 minutes. It was a pretty simple fix. Like, I'll walk. Um, you know, Serviced for free. Came out to the house and serviced the garage for free, basically. And he's like, let me get you a sticker. If you ever have any like legitimate problems, call us. And he will absolutely get my business. And from his end, it was like, wow, he was just super not vulnerable as another human, but he was like we were both vulnerable as other humans who are just like, hey, it's a Tuesday morning, we're having this experience, let's be nice to each other and just be cordial and like kind. And it was just like this interaction that seemed so, for me, like I never get those, right? It's a gas station, like you're checking me out or somebody checking me out at the grocery store. Like we talked about his son and how he's in the army, or like the marine security, and I was like, he's like giving me, it was just something interesting, and I just thought like, man, this all kind of stemmed from both of us being willing to like be nice and give ourselves over to the other person so that they can help us, whatever that may be. I don't know. It was a situation that stuck with me, and I think that especially for those who are out in the public more often, the more that you do that and you give off this good vibe, the more you're going to get back. I just don't get a lot of those opportunities. So it was interesting to me. I've already pushed this thing to 10 minutes with the garage door story. So this is definitely going to go towards 20. Um, Maybe the fitness content of the day. here is I have a client. I have several clients. If you would like to be a client, if you have any idea or ideas or goals in the fitness and health space, and you're like, hey, I wonder if I could I wonder if he could help me, kind of figure some things out, get me towards where I want to go. I've been turning my tires here a little bit, and maybe a coach is what I need. Reach out to me, tylerkluver.com. There's a contact form, or tyler-kluver at live.com is my email. Hit me up. We can get you moving in the right direction. One of my clients yesterday weighs in on Tuesday. So he gave me his weekly weigh-in, and he had gained a pound from the week before. Um, Regardless of how you've been living over the course of that previous 7 days, when you do a weekly weigh-in, not totally or really at all out of the normal to gain a pound or lose a pound, right? Our body weights fluctuate way more than we'd like them to, um, in ways that aren't really representative of actual weight gain or weight loss. So, and we've talked about that before. But he gained a pound, and then he offered up the information. Drank a lot of beer last night, so that probably didn't help. And I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, how much beer?" Because I was curious. Because obviously, even without the beer, again, your weight could fluctuate. But if you drink a lot of beer, if you drink a lot of anything versus not drinking a lot of anything, just water volume wise, your weight is obviously going to be really affected. Then you add on the fact that that beer has calories, and that beer does things to the rest and recovery process, uh, while you're sleeping, that would have a ton of effect on weight management. Then a 1 pound gain now actually sounds pretty good, because you probably would have been down a couple pounds without drinking what was described as enough to kill a co-ed. So, you know, I don't have to tell this client of mine that drinking isn't, in no way does drinking positively take you further down the road of health and fitness, right? It's a step back. Um, it's not even a step sideways. It's a step back every time you do it, um, unless you're having like a single drink or something. I don't have to tell him that. He knows that, right? He then offers up the anecdote that, um, well, I'll just read it. And I hope this client's okay with me sharing this. I don't know if he listens to this podcast or not. It's not like I'm saying his name. So for all you guys know, you have no fucking clue who I'm talking about. Um, he says this: "It's frustrating being the person standing in my own way sometimes. Not making excuses, but my job is so stressful. I can lift for hours and work and still not release after work and still not release the stress that builds up handling my job. A lot of beer empties my head. I could switch to hair." He says I could switch to heroin, but I'm not sure that's a good substitute. Good sense of humor on the guy. Um, so a couple things there, right? Stressful job, something that is not uncommon for most people, right? We're running around this crazy life on this planet, and we've socially designed our lives where a lot of people, most people, are busy, packed front end of the day to the back end of the day for those 5 days during the week, um, kind of slaving away, grinding away to be able to then sort of kind of enjoy 2 days on the weekend and, some time at night. It's really fucked up, to be honest. Like the way we've structured it. You have to grind and slave away and send your kids off to be, babysat or looked after by other people, and oftentimes go to a job that you don't really enjoy or get a whole lot of fulfillment out of, just so that you can have enough capital, enough currency to sustain a roof over your head, food in your mouth, and occasionally some enjoyment, some entertainment. in that fringe time that we get. It's sad. It sucks. Aside from that, though, right? So we're now in that situation. This guy's got a stressful job. That brings all the stuff I just talked about. That brings a bunch of stress, and we've built up this infrastructure of work, 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 grind, 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 grind. And though it's gotten better, we haven't really built in the infrastructure on the other side of that to deal with the mental and physical state that that grind puts us in. Meditation, health practices, exercise, time for walking and being in the sun and getting the correct food, all these things on the health and fitness side are lagging way behind for most people. And so we have to find some way to deal with that stress. And for a lot of people, it's indulgements like alcohol, smoking, could be marijuana, could be other drugs, like like he mentioned, sweets. Um, I mean, hell, for some people, it's sex or it's um doing finding something that in the moment brings them this short term happiness to deal with a long term issue. The quote directly was, "A lot of beer helps clear my head." And I get that. I get that because for the time being, it does. You get really drunk and under the influence, and you just kind of forget about everything else, and you're very, I mean, in a way, you're very present and just in the moment. In a way, you're really not, but uh, you forget about all the other issues for the time being. It's a way to deal with stress short term that, in fact, creates a bigger problem long term. And so my response to him was, does the beer actually clear your head? Right? And insert XYZ, because this guy's problem is just a blanket kind of template problem here. Does the uh, cigarette clear your head? Does the marijuana clear your head? Does the going out and staying up late and spending time not sleeping clear your head? Does the porn clear your head? Whatever it may be. Or does it just temporarily mask the issue? Probably most of the time, you're just putting on a mask. You're putting on a Band-Aid. And you're going to have to put on that Band-Aid, and the Band-Aid is gonna have to get bigger and bigger to be effective over time. This guy has probably, I would say in the range of 50-ish pounds to lose. And what I said to him was, "Does the beer actually clear your head and help you deal with that stress? Or is that a temporary solution? And would not drinking the beer in an effort to lose weight and be healthier lead you to a healthier body, a weight loss of 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 pounds, and puts your body in a state that naturally can handle stress on a daily basis to the point where it never gets to a buildup where you have to go do something like that to mask the stress, to temporarily numb yourself from it." Made me think about myself. I always think about how I live a very, very stress-free life. It's something that I've thought about a ton. I always think like I'm like I'm just not as stressed as other people. I had a baby. Well, I didn't have a baby. My wife had a baby. That was pretty stressful for her. But we as a couple had a baby last December. We're working on 10 months onto a year old now. Kids are stressful. But even through this 10 months, I just haven't felt it. It's like I just don't feel the stress. And I'm s I s it this situation kind of clicked in my head. It was like, maybe I got lucky. And for me, fitness is my thing, right? It's my passion. I love it. And and I know this, right? I just haven't kind of put it together and said it out loud before. But maybe because I'm so physically in shape and I've been that way since, this is from high school to college to now for the last 7 years. There's been other than a 3 month period of intentional weight gain for the NFL. There's been no place where I like just let myself slip and go. I've been intentionally focused on my health and athletic performance for the last 15 years of my life. And I'm a younger person. I'm 29. So 15 takes me back to 14 years old in eighth grade. So there never was a period of time in my life where I let things get out of hand. And so physically, I've always been in tip top shape, having a lot of muscle and a great metabolic system and a good metabolism and doing cardio and being fit, all these things, the work to get me to all those end goals, those places, those states of being, um, has has been the ultimate stress reliever or stress repellent. Something to think about, right? Do you want to keep masking long term problems with short term band aids, or and, and short term band aids that take us further away from the state that will actually fix the problem, right? Because I guarantee if somehow, if this client theoretically does this 2 or 3 times a week where he just drinks a ton of beer, right? He just binges. I don't know. I'm not going to say what a ton of beer is. A ton of beer for me would be like 6 beers, 4 beers would be a lot. But for a lot of people, it's probably like a 12 pack, right? Like they're killing 8, 10, 12 beers more. Would that think about what taking away that would do just nutritionally, right? That right there, I think a beer is like 100 calories, some or more. If you're drinking 30 beers a week, if you're drinking a 30 rack a week, that's 3,000 calories, upwards of 3,500 calories, that marker for a pound. That's a pound a week that you're gaining in beer. What if you took that away? And that doesn't speak to any of the actual procedural damage that it's doing inside your body that further inhibits the weight loss or the weight management, right? The shitty sleep that you're getting, the cravings that you have because beer is one of those comfort food slash drinks that uh, tricks our body into wanting more food, more beer, more food, more beer. Just by stopping, and this isn't novel, but just by stopping drinking, people have lost unbelievable amounts of weight. And not just has 20 pounds come off or 40 or 50 pounds come off, but their energy, their mood, their sleep, their hydration, their joints, their stress management all get drastically better. And then they're at a spot in their life where now you have a super stressful job, but you're resilient. You've built yourself into a machine that can deal with that. You're not just hanging on by a thread, putting on band-aids. Something to think about. Something to think about. Um, Finally, a little recommendation for the day. And maybe I'll do this more often. Maybe we'll have like a little life lesson. If I can, I don't know if it's always going to work out like this, but I kind of like your life lesson for the week, your fitness and health content for the week, and then a recommendation at the end. This guy is nobody new. I guess generally he's new. He's new this year. Started, he was posting his stuff on TikTok in the fitness space. His name is Sam Sulek, SAMSULEK. He is popping off on social media and YouTube. I didn't go all the way back, but he started posting fitness content on TikTok in 2022, maybe the year before that, 2021. Uh, got big enough and popular enough that he then started a vlog at the beginning of this year, 2023. I think his first vlog, I just scrolled back and saw this. His first vlog came out like the 13th of January. And since then, he's put up 200 videos. He's basically posting a daily video that's like an hour long. Um, of him just being, at the gym. He's an absolutely jacked, shredded dude. He is on steroids, but it's not. But it's kind of like that takes a back seat to his content. It's not like he denies that he's on steroids or that he's like trying to hide it. He's just like a very humble, innocent dude who loves to fucking go in and get a pump. He makes fitness concepts and diet concepts very, very simple the way he talks about them. He's fun to just kind of watch lift and drive to the gym in his car, and like the way he's doing it is very interesting. I'm not a huge I do like fitness vloggers. I'm in that space, right? So I'll watch them, but something about the way that this guy puts his content together, it's not flashy. There's no fun edits. He's not doing anything crazy. He just goes to the gym, lifts by himself, grinds. He is absolutely fucking diced. He's huge. Again, the drugs are helping him with that, but like something about him. And he almost motivates me to want to go and do like to do a little bit of a bodybuilding run, which is funny. But I've been watching his videos. I throw them on while I'm programming or playing Minecraft or whatever, and it's fun. His TikTok's fun to follow, and his YouTube's fun to follow. So Sam Sulik is the recommendation of the week. Hope you got something from today. I'll talk to you next time. Peace.